Welcome to Blended Healing. You call me sister. How? Why? How are you doing that? Tell me why. What is your definition of that? You see, one of the issues with relationship is the inability to tell the truth in one's life. It's a problem because it becomes the root of the issues in order for relationships to form of manipulation, jealousy, envy, and deceit. I believe that my sister folk, the relationships with the women that are in not only my life, but your life can be difficult. And it's so much easier to talk about the mistreatment that we receive from the men, right? But what do we do with the betrayal within our own ranks? This can get down to the root of why on the surface. We appear to be cheering each other on. However, underneath it all, there's plenty of dirt thrown on names. Sometimes it makes you wonder if your primary threat within the community comes from another sister. You see, family in every form it takes is very important. And the world and the woman that we call sister creates the village that is part of our counsel, our affirmation, and our validation. Regardless of what we are told, we all need validation and affirmation outside of ourselves. It starts within, but it's required to within the spaces that we trust. Least we begin to question our own judgment regarding ourselves. Accepting a woman as your sister is no small thing, and there should be standards, like-mindedness, and true trust, a bond. Everybody can't handle the weight of this special title. You feel me? I told you this was a trigger warning. I threw the warning signals up. Let's get to some housekeeping before I continue on to saying the things that I'm saying that you may not even like. But guess what? We're going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about it.
Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowances made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips in the balance of the favor of fair use.
You call me your sister. How? Why? When you call a woman your sister, you got to understand that she is a valuable part of your village. She is someone that can uplift you, encourage you, understand you. And when you aren't too sure you to understand yourself, they there standing in the gap. And she'll call out your bullshit. And this has to be a must, as no real sister would let you misstep in silence or destroy yourself in silence. And this can be the hardest part of a relationship person, a foe, somebody that's your enemy. And as that might be difficult to hear, someone that you love tell you you're out of line about a particular situation. If she's your sister, you trust that she isn't there to harm you, but she wants to see you be your best person. And you do the same for her. She's not there to judge you, but there can be no growth if there is no one to hold you accountable to the values you yourself put in place. And though the accountability conversation is very hard to have, the same one is the loudest person cheering you on. All is done in love, and she is a part of your validation and your affirmation. Here's where the problem is. When those that we call sister by birth, by marriage, or life isn't the person standing with you. And though she appears to have your back, she has the knife to one's back. Let's talk about it. Sister relationships by blood can have their difficulties, and many factors can contribute it. It's a blessing when that blood relationship is one of a sisterhood and friendship that is commingled into an unbreakable, unconditional bond. Lord help us if this person is your enemy. Then there is the sister by marriage. Sometimes these start off great as the two women click right away. And then it might become rocky at first, as the introduction of this woman might make one feel as though they are losing a sibling. Or if they are the only girl, it might feel as though this new woman is cramping her space. And over time, these women begin to get to know each other, and they very well may find that they are a gift to one another. It's an unfortunate thing and devastating in cases when women become enemies. Yeah, held to a different standard. Sometimes you get to a place in your life where the title of sister must be taken off the table because no one is perfect. We all make mistakes. Relationships have their moments, and sisterhood ain't no different. When you come to a place where you don't want to be called sister by your enemy, regardless of why, if you aren't pouring goodness into you as you're doing that for them, please don't call me sister. Have the courage to stand by your convictions that I'm just not a person you want to have as a sister. So please leave the jealousy, the envy, the backstabbing, the lying, and throwing dirt on my name. No one needs that kind of toxic, negative energy in their life. And when we give love, we deserve it in return. And remove those titles of love and loyalty when they no longer fit or are not earned. It could hurt at first, but you rather short term discomfort over the devastation of having a false sister. You feel me? But I also understand that the strength of the village is tied. The sisters that seem to find a way to navigate life for themselves while having to answer to others are tired. I get it. I get it. These sisters deserve reciprocity and truth be told they need it. They are the reason the village is safe. We sisters are the reason why the village is safe. Our sisterhood is safe. Yet we don't have no safe space within it. Did you get it? The very people that claim to love you are very disregarding concerning you. Your pillars of strength do not receive the same manifestation of love, support, empathy, and care. Some of your mountains, your sisters of strength, are crying on the inside and nowhere to turn. They have no one to truly hear their words and wipe their tears and tell them everything is going to be okay. And these women are expected to show up. They are your heir apparent, your matriarchs, your nurturers in your sisterhood, and yet they're alone. You see, the strong sisters of the village, of the family, need safe spaces. And they need safe spaces where they can lay their burdens down and merely exist, knowing they are covered. We can't call out the strong Black woman concept if we are a part of why the ideal exists. And the sad thing is that women that we know can shoulder the village are left to do so without support. And yet they are questioned about what they become. Strong women, your sisters, need safe spaces among their sisters where they can be vulnerable without fear or anxiety. They need to know it's okay for them to say, not today, to rest, to take care of themselves, to establish some boundaries, and to accept that they can't answer to everyone. This is so important. If you don't want to start losing the strong ones that hold you up, there has to come a point where you know that you don't offer safety to your own pillars. I said this was heavy. The same people yelling that they don't want to hear no complaining, zero negativity from anyone because they're protecting their peace will call the strong sister in their life and unburden every complaint, every negative vibe that they know that she'll be there for them. They know she's not going to give them a taste of their own medicine. They know she's not going to only listen, but help them figure out the course of action and do the spiritual work to help them get through a rough patch. They know that they can call their pillar and vent until their heart is content about work and family and everything else. But however, that pillar knows she's not safe to do the same. She knows she will be met with disregard or silence of disinterest. Neither of these sponsors are okay. And they tend to remove themselves from a safe space. Let me tell you something. You better start getting the love on your strong sisters because we must create that space to let them know that they are appreciated and that they're not alone and that they must receive the care that we ourselves demand. Our pillars need to know we see them and we care about the issues that concern them. They must know that you are willing to listen and to show up for them. They must understand that their care is important to you, to us, and that we can help create the safe space. And the only way we can get rid of that negative, strong black woman ideal is to work together in a sisterhood. You call me your sister. How? Why? We all must remember to give our pillars of strength the same love, compassion, empathy, and time that they give us. And the truth is they need it to surround themselves to survive and thrive. Don't call me your sister if you don't mean that shit. Don't do that. Understand something, that sometimes your voice can be the voice that can save. We live in such a fast paced world right now. And though we have more technology and methods of communication, it does not translate to better or more endearing communication. You can argue that the options can lead to more miscommunication and isolation. And one of the expectations and one of the exceptions is a video call every now and then where you can see and hear the person that you're talking to. Don't call me your sister if you don't mean it. You got to be honest. Some of us are quite okay with just sending a text message or a text on one of those various social media platforms. And in some cases, there are those that will come out to say, don't call me, text me. What the fuck is that? This is not the preference. This is not the preference of being available. You are welcome. My God, you are welcome to take that position that no one should be forced to talk or call. Just know if you take that position, It also means that no one has to answer you either, especially with these holiday seasons coming up and all this other stuff is coming up. It can be so difficult for so many reasons for so many people. And far often, no one has the capacity to lend an ear, empathy, nor care, but expects so much when the heaviness rests on them. And we tend to forget the power of a voice until we are reminded by tragedy that might have needed said voice. And there are times that we need the power to love and care that can be found in the voices that we trust. Where's my sisterhood? It's just like those moments where the voice of an elder can calm anxieties and give reassurance that are needed just to get through the current minute. We will never know what walls will fall in on our heart, or what breakthroughs we will experience when we reach out to our sister in need. And just as she may need to hear a safe, trusting voice in that moment, you just might find out you needed the same thing. And there's an important principle in that reciprocity in that moment. When you step up to offer the voice your sister needs, you may be about to receive the same, and you may not have realized that you needed a lifeline. The conversations that you start with when you're hearing an issue or being a shoulder, and in the midst of all of this, you feel a smile, you hear a laugh, you get a chance to tell your sister that you love her. You get to remind her that she is important to the universe and into your life. You get the opportunity to pour into that sister and to leave a piece of your heart with her. In that moment, you never know the impact of your words and love. I can't guarantee you that making that call will always save your sister. Hell, they may not even want to be that to you anymore. No one can, but you can try. Life is so microwavable right now. So many relationships are failing because the details of the care are lost in the hustle and the bustle of this life. Convenience tends to be the go-to. And let's be honest, it's sometimes easier to multitask when you're texting. Sometimes it seems like capacity can be stretched just a bit less if we just send text messages. If you do that, one also says that texting or sending a DM is better than nothing. What? What? Don't call me your sister if you don't mean that shit. This may be true in some cases, but it doesn't replace the power of the voice and the energy that it conveys. And all the other methods seem to be small when the worst happens. And when the sister in our village is hurt, injured, or becomes an ancestor far too often, we are left wondering if there was something more that could have been done or said. So remove the doubt and find the time to show up for your village, even if it's just hearing their voice, just for them hearing your voice to call them, to say that you love them, you value them, you're thinking of them. That you apologize for being and treating them less than. And that you truly, truly value them as a sister and value your sisterhood. I want to thank you for stopping by Blended Healing on today. That was something that needed to be said. Say a prayer for each other. Wish each other well. Be well, stay safe, Ashe, and deep bow, and I shall see you all very, very soon.
My kind of shit. Shout out to my nigga Twin. He's a genius, boy. This is good music. When I first heard it, this shit, you know exactly what I told you. I said, dog, this is exactly how I'm feeling. I don't know where you come up with this shit at, but yeah. Dog, this is exactly how I've been feeling. I've been wanting to get this shit out. I owe you for this one, brother. Yeah. Sometimes I wanna grab the strap and buck off. I'm fucked up. That's what's up with me, dog. It seems I can't get out the grass with distress. Be wanting to walk the right path, but it be taking me left. Smoked up a pound in 3 days, got about an eighth of it left. So what's next? Be the question that holds weight on my mind. I got to come out this slump, and it may take me some time. By design, I was dealt the worst. My copper-colored skin tone, yeah, I done felt the hurt. I grew accustomed, probably, who'll ever know. Straight give you that desert flow, dry heat. It reminds you of summers in Mexico. My literature, hella, yo, I'm credible. Like Josephus, get in that zone in my home while I be blowing reefers. My Bose speakers is life to me and priceless. See, I get in tune, banking on change to come soon. And I hope for better days and truths to the letter strays. This lopsided system, it never ceases to amaze. I got children to raise that's growing up quick in age, and this minimum wage be breaking my back. I can't adapt, reason I rap. If not, I'll go insane. And plus, I got a little me. He needs to know the game. This world is strange and biting with fangs. And if you don't watch your ass, you'll be locked in the chains. These pains will never cease. My niggas capiche. This nigga cools on the joint after smoking the sweet. Yeah.